What is up, guys? NYKia31 here. Going to be talking some Madden 17. This is a Madden 16 video. Obviously, I'm playing Mutt Salary Cap. Put together a new squad. Some differences you'll notice is that I'm running a 3-4 featuring Ultimate Legend Lawrence Taylor. And trying out this Final Edition Tyrod Taylor card as well. And I'm going to be running out of the Eagles playbook. So you'll see how this game goes. Got Joe Hayden and Talib as my corners. 94 overall Earl Thomas card, and my trusty George Ilaka as my safeties, and LT and Anthony Barr at the outside backers, and cap-friendly budget block shedders on the defensive line. And, you saw the offense there as well. T.Y. Hilton with Jordy Nelson and a base Deshaun Jackson and a base Jeremy Hill. And budget run blocking offensive lineman. So, anyway, that'll be the backdrop for what I'm going to be talking about as far as Madden 17 is concerned. Talking about my impressions about what I've seen and heard on the videos that have been released over the past week or so, interaction with other members of the community, and also with Clint and Rex, and just overall how I feel about the game at this point. Well, as far as what we know, and pretty much just go from there. There were and there are a couple of things that have me a little bit concerned. Those have been eased a little bit when I got a better understanding of the build that they were playing and what they're looking to expand upon, since that build, what they have been expanding upon since that build. But let's start out with that. One of the things that was glaringly noticeable was that the defensive line was non-existent in the footage that we've seen. And, you know, obviously that was something that raised my alarm bells right away, since that was something that, heck, even Gibbs and Farles were advertising regarding Madden 17. The fact that you'll be able to get a base pass rush and generate pressure out of blitzing, provided you have the horses there. But we didn't really see that very much in the footage that we saw. So that got my alarm bells going right off the bat. So, I've been talking about that with Rex and Clint over Twitter pretty much all year about the need to improve the base pass rush to better reflect strong defensive lines. And not just a base pass rush, but strong defensive lines in general, both against the run and the pass. And, that's the great thing about having access to these guys on Twitter. That if you ask them questions about this kind of stuff up front, you'll have a good dialogue and understand where along the process they were or are with those particular aspects, in the game. From what I understand, the build that was played was pre-beta, and that was one of those things that hadn't quite gotten ironed out yet. So I felt much better about the state of things and where they're going to be at release, because you you cannot have the defensive line play that was in what we saw in the game come release day. That just cannot occur. There was also a great deal of dialogue between people like myself, Grafter, DSK, and some other folks with Clint and Rex regarding the run fit system. And from what I can gather, the way the run fits will work with the defensive backs is that in some defensive calls, deep blue defenders may or may not be involved in the run fit, which could potentially be a problem. I'll give you a couple of examples. Like in cover 2, for example, we know that the corners are force offenders, but the safeties, when they read run, they gotta go. Play side safety's gotta fly downhill to the alley. Backside safety, he's keeping his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage for cutback. Same responsibilities and quarters, halves. Cover 3 is the free safety, primary run defender. No, but he has to basically mirror the back to keep it simple. Parallel to the line, not overcommit. Be on the alert for cutback or any type of breakthrough or leakage from the front seven folk. Corners in cover 3, Again, they're not primary run defenders, but they still have to be willing to stick their nose in there and help turn the run inside. You can't have a bunch of Deion Sanders out there. Cover four, depending on the personnel both you and the offense have, how you scheme it, what formation you're going up against. Cover four can allow you to involve both safeties up in the box in the running game and still have seam coverage with pattern matching underneath. This is vital in an NFL that is getting more and more spread offense oriented. I'll give you an example. The Panthers, they play the most quarters coverage of anyone in the entire league. Something around 35 to 40% of their snaps are cover four coverage. Why can they do this? They have two athletic, rangy linebackers that can both cover the space underneath and have the athleticism to match crossing receivers underneath. Kuechly and Davis also have the speed to run down the seam with the receiver threats as well. And when you combine that, when they had Josh Norman out there basically playing man coverage on the outside, that allowed them to do a lot of bracketing and rolling coverage all out of a quarters coverage concept. When you combine that with a really good front four, you know that makes for a formidable defensive unit. Now, did I expect this to be super intricate? No, but that is something that bears watching, and I'll need to see more of how it's going to work with the final game. Otherwise, we could still see issues with outside runs, tosses being overly effective. For the most part, I love what I've seen, read, and heard regarding the pattern matching logic with zone coverage. There was some borks here and there that we saw, and people like myself and Grafser brought it to Clint's attention, and I feel confident that it's going to be ironed out. I'm not expecting a Wade Phillips here, but again, I'm expecting the basic idea to be respected, and with that, improvement to the zone coverage logic, what we really need, and what's probably one of my biggest concerns with the game going into this year, we need the offensive plays and the offensive playbooks to be much, much better. We can't have broken plays. We can't have bad route spacing on these route concepts. Because if it plays like it's advertised on the pattern matching zone coverage end, we're going to need them. It's like I'm running the Eagles playbook here in this game, and my opponent is running the 4-6 against it. Now, say what you want about Chip Kelly. If you ran a 4-6 defense against him, he'd laugh at you. But he does this because he knows that I can't run a counter. He knows that there's really only a handful of calls I can make against it that work due to the route spacing. That's the only reason why people play 4-6, 3-4, and 4-3 against spread sets. So we need that beefed up. Better route spacing and as few broken plays, both passing and running plays, as humanly possible. The interaction with gamers in the Madden community over Twitter has been great. I've noticed, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has noticed, that there's more nuts and bolts football, X's and O's, and schematics being talked about in the Twitter sphere when it comes to football and Madden than I recall seeing. Without question, I'm not the only resource for stuff like that. There's a lot of guys out there that play that know a whole heck of a lot about the sport. And that's great for everybody. So, overall, there's a whole heck of a lot to be excited about, to look forward to. Now that the online CFM season or year is over and I'm playing these guys in much salary cap, I love this mode, by the way. It's so much fun tinkering around and building teams. But, playing these guys, August 23rd can't get here fast enough as this guy ejects, as he felt the wrath. So, anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. Love to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.